Maybe you have been too preoccupied with looking at London.
The world's fastest mobile broadband.
We have fish, fish, fish and fish.
This is the world's most powerfully devolved parliament.
Scotland has much more to offer than we have.
Economically, it should be a giant player in Europe.
Oh, what's the problem?
Hello, Scotland.
The Scottish referendum campaign showed up the BBC in its worst possible light for everyone in Scotland to see.
You see other people and how upset they are, and it's so tangible, and then you start thinking, well, why is nobody doing anything? How did they just get away with this?
Good Morning Scotland was astonishing. It was incredible, the bias, the repetition, like almost, almost Nazi propaganda, the hypnotic repetition of negativity.
The BBC gave a Conservative MP over an hour to make a documentary saying that the sense of Scottish nationhood wasn't real, that it was a myth, that it was unjustified.
The Yes campaign started to become, in media terms, Alex Salmond's campaign.
They tore after Alex Salmond, demonised him and villainised him.
Alex Salmond.
In Scotland, people could see that there was a massive gap between what the BBC was reporting and the truth. People then suddenly realised, wow, maybe they're not actually telling us the truth about anything else.
Nick Robinson.
Why should a Scottish voter believe you, a politician, against men who are responsible for billions of pounds of profits?
He didn't answer.
It was an attempt, a serious and negative attempt at propaganda, which just blew up in the face of the BBC.
All of these predictions about these doom and gloom predictions about Scotland completely ignored what state could actually be created. Maybe all of these doom and gloom scare stories are just big fat lies.
Gavin Essler has this exclusive report.
It's not journalism. It's a peddling of state propaganda, made and paid for by the BBC.
It's common knowledge that the pro-independence movement's cause was thwarted by the relentless tsunami of unionist propaganda in print, TV and radio, with the BBC in particular coming under attack from its critics for alleged bias in its reporting.
Why should a Scottish voter believe you, a politician, against men who are responsible for billions of pounds of profits?
He didn't answer.
It should come as no surprise that the BBC is the UK state broadcaster, with a specific remit to promote cohesion across the nations of the UK. They are, after all, just doing what is expected of them, and therefore the expectation of balance is fatally flawed when the notion of Scottish independence is a clear and present danger to the unity of the United Kingdom. The BBC is funded by annual subscription, which amounts to £320 million from Scottish licence payers alone. It's not unreasonable to assume that at least 50% of that income, £160 million, comes from independence supporting households, amounting to 1,088,435 households underwriting BBC Scotland News reporting, which, in turn, is broadcasting the state message back into their living rooms. By contrast, among the alternative pro-indie grassroots media, of which Wings Over Scotland generates the largest number of donations, crowdfunded to the tune of around £100,000 per year, that's the equivalent contribution of 680 annual BBC licence fees out of 1,088,435 indie licence payers, or 0.00063% of £160 million paid to the BBC by independence supporters. Pro-independence Scots are financially supporting unionist media outlets more than media outlets aligned to their own political persuasion, by a phenomenal amount. And this is for the BBC only, as Sky and Virgin TV subscriptions have not been factored in. Are you beginning to see the problem? No one is suggesting that your BBC licence should be cancelled, nor is it being suggested that one breaks the law by watching TV without a valid licence. It is merely being brought to your attention, the hard, cold fact that the funding of a serious alternative news outlet is only possible if similar levels of funding were directed to pro-indie outlets. There are many people and organisations doing their level best to offer an alternative voice. Different voices with one message that takes issue and rails against the tsunami levels of mainstream media propaganda. Isn't it time to recognise that we have a power to create the media we want to see and hear, if only we make that decision to be the change? Time to get out of that comfort zone. Time for change. And you can start right here. You need only fund those pro-indie organisations that you feel merit your attention. Please, be the change.
That was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. He strove for independence for this land we hold so dear. He'd argue with the best of them, his message proud and clear. Free Scotland for the Scots folk and have it nuclear free. A safer place for us to live with some dignity. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. While speaking at a gathering, no punches would he pull. He'd say things as he saw them in a way none other would. Was the crime in his conviction for this cause he held so dear? Freedom and a safer place to live with dignity. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. I've spoken with some friends of his the years gone by. None bad was said that I have heard, though searching I have tried to find a clear-cut reason for his death so untimely. There's none but one man's struggle for our rightful destiny. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. Should the day dawn that we forget that bloody sacrifice that's been made of centuries by Scots folk for the rights, we'll cease to be the nation for which they laid down their lives. So never forget to say with pride we're carrying on the fight. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means. Sad was the day found was Willie McRae, bleeding and dying by the roadside away on a northern-bound journey. That Scottish attorney made up with his maker by who knows what means.
Watch.
The big night in Petroleum Independence Live. The big night in Petroleum Independence Live.
.net.
Right, and we're on. This month we are live from East Ayrshire, but just for the beginning of the show, I wouldn't mind if the young man with the pipes would just come up to the front and just say hello.
Hi.
How you doing? What's your name, sir?
Warren.
Warren, that was absolutely fantastic. How long have you been playing pipes?
18 months.
Wow.
That? Oh, really? So you're not even that long into it? You're almost an expert. Where have you been learning?
School.
Nice.
Teach you pipes at school? Does everybody get to learn at school?
Anybody who wants to.
Okay, well that's fantastic. Are you going to be a professional bagpiper, or do you want to play in one of the big bands?
Hopefully.
Okay, actually, no, I think I did the right thing. That's fantastic.
Can I ask, Warren, how many of your pals at school are taking up the offer of bagpipes as well?
Well, I've got 2 friends doing it.
Yeah, because in Govan High School in Glasgow, they have a piping instructor, and I think there's 10 or 12 kids. Maybe 2 years they've been at it now, and they are now going to all the Scottish gatherings, and they go to all the games.
Yep.
It's a great thing doing that at school. Fantastic, eh? Oh, that's your culture.
Are you going to be going to the marching feast with the pipes?
No, I can't. I'm at a competition.
Oh, even better.
Okay,
what's the competition about? Is it all the different things? Is it Highland Games competition with different disciplines?
No, just piping.
Piping one, okay, specialist. Are you hopeful you're going to be in the running for a medal there?
It's with my pipe band, so hopefully yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thanks so much, Warren. That's brilliant. Really appreciate
lovely,
it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we really appreciate that East Ayrshire has hosted us here for this month's big night in. Here we are in your wonderful Yes Shop, so we're just having a bit of a look around. Gwen, maybe we can pick you up on the microphone there, so can you maybe just give us a little bit of a run through of what we've got here? We've got a mural on the wall, it's just like a big infographic. This is excellent. Who did this?
I did.
That is brilliant. It really is.
Well, basically what this is it's East Ayrshire has many achievements that have happened, and I believe that our area doesn't really boast enough that they should, and quite and I don't think we realise just how many until we thought, let's put them all together. For example, obviously people do know probably about penicillin. It was discovered here in Ayrshire. Well, it was discovered by a man who lived in Darvel, which is in East Ayrshire.
Alexander Fleming.
Yeah, Alexander Fleming. We've also had the man who invented street lighting, which people probably don't know. In the 1790s, he came from Lugar. Is he a relative of yours?
Very distant, yes.
He's a relative of Neil's. So just so you Neil. And obviously we've got one of the most exciting things that's going to be happening in Kilmarnock. People that are into renewable energy. They're going to have the very first geothermal district network heating, which is going to be happening So that's massive and really big. It is really big, and I'm really proud that it's going to be happening in Kilmarnock. So we've got Kilmarnock Academy. It's the only school outside Eton that's got 2 Nobel Prize winners. There's lots and lots of things still to be added. This has been a really nice project because people have come in and they've said things like, oh, you know, what about adding this and that? So we can see some post-it notes on it. There's still things to be added. You can see Biffy there in the middle, there from Kilmarnock. Biffy Clyro, yeah. Won loads of awards. They used to jam in the pub called the Cape Art Tavern. There's quite a few more things to add.
I was going to say the gyro babies on the up there.
Are they from Kilmarnock?
Not from Kilmarnock, but Kilwinning.
Oh, well, that's outside East Ayrshire.
Not everyone.
We're very strict about our borders.
I think Ayrshire gets. I think Kilmarnock's left out a bit because the rest of here is seen by us up in Glasgow as beach towns. And I don't know what a beach town makes it any better. But I sometimes used to think that's how Kilmarnock is well known. Yeah. And we know Kilmarnock, but most well known is visited as Ayr and Dark Press Week in these places.
It's probably true, and also Kilmarnock used to be a place of enormous industry, and obviously everybody was in massive employment. There was no problems here, and then obviously that's all declined.
In Glasgow too.
So that's a major issue for this area. And it'll be the same for the mining communities in East Ayrshire as well. And we would love to see an opportunity for this area to start making progress again.
It seems that industrial towns have a reality about them, and when you take the industry away, we're looking to see who we are. And so we're looking to, and they're going to, what is it they call these when they regenerate places and gentrify it?
Gentrification.
I don't need gentrificated.
No, I don't think we don't rebel against the word itself enough.
I see you've got the Wallace's grave
up
there. Can you just tell us a little bit about?
Right, okay, well, if you just look above there, you can see a thing that's called Loudon Hill. You see that at the top. Well, it's a huge, massive, well, I think probably at one time it might have been a volcano. I need to check that.
Volcanic plug, okay, yeah.
Well, there was 2 battles that happened there. One of them actually involved William Wallace and his men, who went along and basically robbed the coach which was bringing money through to Ayr. Ayr was a garrison town. And another battle took place there with the Bruce. Now Wallace's grave is actually marked on the map, and we think it's not. Well, let's assume it isn't. He was. Well, I'd like to think it was just he didn't really get killed in Smithfield, and that's where he was buried. But I think that's just a lot of nonsense. But it was because that's where they buried all the people that he killed. It was quite a sizable number. There was many battles around Kilmarnock, in Riccarton area. It was where he actually was when he first ended up involved in his fight for Scotland's freedom, because he was fishing off the bridges along the road at Riccarton, and they demanded his catch from him. He was such a young lad, he probably wasn't much older than Warren when all this started at the time, and so he had no chance. He ended up in a skirmish with him, and then he had to hide out in various locations not too far from here, and so I think that's where he kind of started all his endeavours. So
it's also Olympics, a silver medal.
It is,
yes. 1952.
Yep.
That was Margaret McDowell. What did she win that one for?
Swim. I think it was breaststroke she was doing. Swimming. There's a guy Cameron Sharp, who won many Commonwealth Games medals and stuff for running, for relay.
And of course the Kilmarnock, the famous Kelly pie.
Indeed, it's there.
Pride of place there in the middle.
Award-winning pie. We were actually going to get some in, but we thought maybe a bit warm for tonight. Next time he's come, we'll get Kelly pie.
Definitely, I've never had a Kelly pie.
Well, we're actually doing quite well. We've got sausage rolls. We've got what is this thing here?
I think it might be flapjacks.
Flapjacks. These biscuits. Some glasses of water. Fruit baskets. I don't know if anybody's. All you can do is chew, I suppose. So, here we are, Yes East Ayrshire. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Ragged Trouser Philanthropist.
The Ragged Trouser Philanthropist.
Now that is, Rob is holding, is the original book.
That's it.
Yes, the original book is the one.
Aye.
That is there.
Absolutely. We're going to be specifically speaking about this downsized version of this huge big book, which is only 88 pages. So as you can see there, it's a very accessible book. We've got the Windrush scandal. We're going to be speaking about the horrible way in which the British government have been treating people who've been living in this country I say UK, for many years. And we've got a very special guest. Please welcome Martin Chomsky to the show. A round of applause there, please. So, Martin, you are a musician, a poet, a writer, and also a playwright. But on top of that, we believe you're also a political activist.
Yes.
And a very proud punk rocker.
Yes, indeed.
So,
we're I'm from the punky reggae party.
Absolutely. Okay. We're really glad to have you on. We've got a lot to talk about, but just before we get started, Kev's going to play the first song, which is, could you just give us the title?
It's called What Love Is.
What Love Is. Okay, it's a fantastic piece of music. We recorded it yesterday in Top Studio. So, Kev, if you can line that one up, we'll have a listen.
So face up to your fate. Imagine what enough is.
That is soul. That is soul. What do you think, guys? Yep.
Very big.
Good.
Don't give a punk rocker an acoustic guitar, it's dangerous.
Okay, Bob, do you want to take it away?
Okay. Martin and I have worked a few times, we're pals. We worked a few times on RTP things, Ragged Trouser, lads for stuff. I made a wee movie a couple of years ago, and it was the main theme of the movie. It was about talking about the shipyards. I was in the shipyards for years, and I was given the book. And it's a good thing to ask people with the RTP. Very few people buy this book. It's been given to people all the time because it's actually in the book to say, and that's one. So I've got to ask you, Martin, how did you first come across our TV?
I was about 17, I think, and I met a guy, he's a friend of a friend, he was in London, and he just said, have you read this book? And we've been talking politics. Have you read this book? No, and he gave it to me, and I was like, are you serious? You know, you're like 17 or whatever. But see, once you get into it, it's actually a fantastic piece of work. So I sort of put it aside, and because he kind of confirmed what I'd already thought. But the beauty of it is, particularly with the Great Money Trick, which is one of the chapters in it, he actually explains how capitalism rips off the workforce, and that was a major revelation. From then, I wasn't really the same person. I think anybody who ever has read the book is the same person afterwards.
It really changed me.
Yeah.
It really changed me. I was 17 as well in the shipyard, and a fella said to me here, and this is the thing, it's always, have you read that book yet? That's the way it comes about. So when this fella did me, I was the same as Martin. I said, what are you going to do here? And I've looked at it, and after a week I took it back and says to him, he says, you read that yet? And I said, I've tried. And he says to us, what? And I said, it's a big book, I've got a girlfriend, I eat, and I do things, I can't get through that. And he says to us, well, if you've not read it the next week, kill yourself, stupid. And in the shipyard guys, I went, all right, so I read it. I never quite caught it, but I've read it and read it and read it, and I would say I don't know how many times I've gave it away. I could say, but it sounds unreal. I buy it in second-hand bookshops every time I see it, and I just give it to people. So I've got a couple spare in the house. And like Martin says, it's like, for me, I used to say it was like a guide to socialism, because with it, and it doesn't even talk a lot about socialism, it just points out what a capitalist is.
Yeah, do you know, I think the difference for me was, I found myself working at Land Rover, and somebody suggested that, somebody could write a comedy about it, because it was so badly organised. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll give it a try. So I did, and my first book I went to, actually got commissioned by Birmingham Rep, but the first book I went to, back to was, and I was looking for authenticity, so I went back to Ragged Trouser Philanthropist, and what I actually found on the second read was absolute truth.
Right.
And I was just like, the scales just fell from my eyes, and that from then, I wrote the play, which won awards at Birmingham Rep, so I was very proud of that, went down really, really well. And then I went on to write a biography of Robert Tressel, a stage biography of Robert Tressel, which, bless them, the middle classes in the theatre industry don't really get. So it's never been produced. But I worked with Robert Tressel's last surviving relative for 10 or 12 years as a course of research. And then I left it for a bit, and I went back to the music. And then I was playing. There was an anti-Thatcher demonstration in George Square, and some right-wingers had said that they were going to injure me should I turn up and play this thing at George Square. So I went anyway, being me, being the punk rocker that I am. But my reply to them was, on the event page where they were trolling me, was, somebody should write a Janet and John version of the Ragged Trouser Philanthropist, so you stop blaming everybody else for your horrible little lives. I was just going to send, I was literally hovering over the blue button to send it. If not I, then who? So I did it, and it came out. We did it for the centenary of the original. I could not believe the time. I worked like an absolute Trojan for a year to get that book done.
Yep. This is it. How many people have actually read the Ragged Trouser Philanthropists at all? Anyone actually read the book?
See, I find a lot of people know about the book.
Yes. How many people know about the book? And like that's almost everyone, yeah.
And I think another thing, David, you hear a lot of people saying, my dad read it and my granddad read it. It's been about 100 years now, and it's been in print the whole time. It's never been out of print. So you find that a lot of people read it at work, or in their trench. In World War II, a lot of people read it, and they reckon that was something to do with the Labour landslide government that then came. They called it the Troops book. So I think it's a book that gets read in industry and then organised because it gets passed about.
Right.
So when I find that people haven't read it, it's usually because it seems to be there's political people in each family, and that's who's already. Now I've said to my GP and a couple of school teachers and headmasters, have you read that book yet? And give them copies. They can't read it. When you go back and see how you get on with the book, they say, I've only read 3 chapters, and It's on my bed table. And I say to people, everybody's in the book. And there's one character in the book called Owen. And see if you're not Frank Owen after you've read that book, you're one of the other people. And that's who all the doctors and all the lawyers and all that, they will only read the book because they're in it. And they're not in it in very good light. And I think when they get to the page that it's about the preacher or the teacher or the police, they go, oh, and put it down. I'm not kidding you, they don't say to you, put it down because I saw myself in it. But I think that's what happens when people see it.
Well, I went my life not knowing anything about this, the existence of this book, and it was a taxi driver that introduced me to the book. And it was one of those daft situations where I only had, £5, and I couldn't get all the way home on £5. So I just says to the guy, look, just take me as far as £5 takes, and then just drop me off and I'll walk the rest. But no, we had a conversation, and he was totally fine with it. He's like, you work hard, whatever, I'll just take you straight home. Give me what you've got. Give me what you can afford. He said, actually. He said, if you can't even afford the £5, keep it. But I gave him the £5. But then he introduced me. He didn't hand me a book, but he told me about it. And he says, get reading that. And it was maybe within about a year or so, I was over in Spain, and I found the radio play by Johnny Vegas. That was my introduction to it, and it was fantastic. From there, I've listened to some audiobook, and I've got the audio book of your book, which I've been listening to in the car, and Kevin was listening to just a little bit of it on the way down as well. What did you think, Kev?
My head was all over the place, mate. I wasn't paying attention. I was wondering, it's like, making sure you're driving all right.
Okay.
I was a bit concerned about it.
What Martin said is dead strong. I wouldn't put it, I didn't have put it, but a wife knew on, it's the truth. That's what I think when people read it, they come away. A lot of books you read and you think that was exciting, or you think, oh, to get a movie. I don't know what you might think after a book.
Because it was the Great Oration, which is chapter 13 for years, that I played in the car. That's a standalone piece. That's it. That piece can stand alone from the book. Now, we were going to play it at the end of this tonight, but there was a problem with the file, but we're going to put that out. You've given us permission to put that out on Independence Live, so there's a 12-minute part of the audiobook which we'll make available on YouTube, Facebook or whatever.
And that's what I think when people read it, I think it just dawns on them. Every bit of my life's in that. And that's what I think the book's like. It's not a thriller or anything. It just puts truth in front of you that you see it. It's very strange, a big book, and a lot of people are like, how do you get through this? There's dead funny bits in it. I've heard people saying it's this is another thing about it. When it was first published, it was cut to pieces. The editors, the people that had the publishing rights didn't want to put it the way it was. So they cut it to shreds.
Literally cut and paste it, and they cut out all the politics. I've never actually seen one of these first editions, but apparently they butchered the Jesus out of it. And when I got this published, well, I published it myself really, but when I went down to Hastings, which is where it was set, I was kind of dreading it because there was a journalist called Fred Ball who'd pieced that book back together, and I was like, I've done it again. I've taken out so much, but what the general consensus was, I'd put all the stuff in that the original publishers had taken out. Taking out all the politics. All the controversy, they'd taken it right out.
Chapter 13, the Great Oration, is all about how we've been fooled.
For centuries.
To think that this is normal, to think that this is the way it's always been. But it's always been like this. You've always been exploited, and in certain senses that is true. But no, capitalism is a construct, and you must understand that.
And before the Industrial Revolution, this is what's in the Great Oration. Before the Industrial Revolution, if I was a craftsman, a joiner, I was a craftsman. I wasn't working for MFI cutting with a bandsaw the sides of a wardrobe while he's cutting the drawers and he's making honks. It would be that I made the whole thing. Now, I've not got sons of my own, so the woman across the road's got 2 boys. I'd become there and they would come and live with me, and I would teach them my trade, and they would become master craftsmen. So before the Industrial Revolution, we were all masters of what we'd done. We owned the means of production, and we produced for the forest, and we did. And then that Industrial Revolution came along with the construct of capitalism, how you make money out of people. And then that's when we started making MFI parts, make whatever parts you want. Now, there's a famous one in the book of the Draper's factory, where the lassies that work for the factory spend a lifetime learning how to make a sleeve, and another lassie makes the bodice, another one does the buttons, and another one does the cuffs, and never do they teach one lassie to make the whole garment, because she'll make her own soap and employ her own. So, and it's like that also. The examples of this new economy that they've got that's actually cutting us off at the knees, and it's making us wage slaves. And look what they're doing with wage slaves now. We're back to minimum pay, we're back to 0 hours. That was in 1910.
And volunteering, you know, I live up by Hampden, the Commonwealth Games, there's nobody actually worked at the Commonwealth Games. They're all volunteers. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why do you accept that?
Now, volunteering's all right.
Yeah.
If everybody's volunteering, they're Queen and Dukes and Lords. I'll volunteer to go to a house in Lords for £300 a day. I'll volunteer for that, or else I'll volunteer to burn it down. One of the two. But to stand the way it is, and that's what you're saying, David, about the construct of capitalism. Before capitalism could work, it wasn't, it was communities, all worked, we all lived in different wee places and made what we made, and that's what's been taken up as skills. I've got a thing that I'll show. There's another chapter in the book later on. I'll show you. I think you give me a horn. The great money trick.
Yep.
It's hilarious. And this is one of the workers. The boy that's the worker in the thing. All the other workers, he's always talking about how they're getting done down, and all the workers are always laughing at him, and they're always saying, "You need to go to your work, and you need to." And they never seem to realise they're their own worst enemy. And when it comes to dinner breaks, they call this boy professor. So they shout. Then the professor gives a lecture, Something when I was in the shipyard as a wee boy. I used to cut about and see that Sun newspaper. I used to cut about all the house at dinner time. And if it was a guy sitting reading the Sun or looking at page 3, you know, I mean, I'm talking about a 40-year-old man building ships and he's got still time to go, oh. So I used to cut about with a light and set the sun on fire. Aye, right. And that's what I think Owen was a bit like. When it was like, look what you're doing, and you're calling me the nutty professor. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. He's the only guy in the book that actually can see the trees through that forest, and he can clear the dust to see. Everybody else is all living in dust.
And that's one of the legacies of industrial decline, is that it leaves people who are incomplete, you know, and you probably, you know, we can maybe see that from a lot of what's on the wall here, you know.
That's right.
But the actual, what's left over are not complete people who can pick the pieces back up and continue, but very much dependent on someone coming and bringing factory or, you know.
And that's what's ruined all the towns. I was saying earlier on, Gwen, when we were talking, it's a bit like Kilmarnock, Glasgow, bits of Glasgow, Govan, Ramsey, Springburn and all that. We don't make all these things anymore. So what are we supposed to do with ourselves? And it shows me this, I hate this. This is a beautiful wee street. You see across the road there's a big cinema, or it used to be something. That needs cleaned up. It's beautiful building. You see across the road, Martin. Now we've got one in Govan. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that. So this is what I'm saying. Aye, the things that were our things, the people's things. Now that they don't need us, they seem to no need any of that either. And that's when gentrification comes in. But see, if your place isn't open to gentrification, you don't get anything then. Yeah? So that's the kind of, the book sees all these things and it tells you it's coming. And that's what I'm saying.
It's very prophetic. Very much.
And a lot of people call the book a flawed masterpiece.
Yeah.
Latterly I've been saying, no, it's no flawed.
Well, as a writer now, I would say I would defend Robert Tresson in the sense that he died 3 years before it was published, so he never had the luxury of working like I have on occasion, working or actually paying working with script editors, but he never had that. So he's just written it and left it in a box, and his daughter's picked it up and gone, there you go, to some publisher. So it's just as it was, as he wrote it. And he was a painter, he was a house painter. To be fair, among other things, he was actually quite a genius.
He was a good signwriter.
He was a brilliant signwriter. Some of his artwork is actually astounding.
He's quite a clever man.
Yeah, very much. Way ahead of his time.
I seen that. I wrote a wee thing about the shipyards. The shipyard was no alcohol and booze and nuts and bam pots. There was a lot of guys that open university degrees in the shipyards. I'm not talking about one or two. I mean, about 30 or 40 boys that all done open university degrees. And I say this and all, I'm a boy for Govan when I went into the shipyards. I needed sobered up. See, when I go there and it's all men like you and big guys in the yard, you didn't get to fly with them. I mean, you didn't walk past, all right, you, because you get clipped. So I think the Yard was a great place, as all industry, to bring tough young boys up into decent men that will take their wages home and go with their wife and bring up kids. So no, the shipyards wasn't all full of drunks that spent their wages and gamblers. There was a majority of men were good men. Right? And that's what I kind of catch out of this as well. Men are trying their best.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
There was other bits I wanted to ask you, Martin. It was like all the things that are in the book then. We're back at it now, aren't we?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Do you know, when I did it and I hit the centenary, it was an incredible feeling. And we had a launch night at CCA, just incredible electricity. But do you know, it was kind of dampened by the fact that why are we still having to do this 100 years later? It's probably worse now because we've fought those battles of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, or whatever, and got crushed. Is the truth of it, you know. And now we're back to it again.
I know it's horrible. For me, it's horrible. See, as a kid growing up, you always think it's going to get better, don't you? Well, see, after Thatcher, Major, Blair, and where we are now, it's went like 10 times worse than a tenth of the time it took to get that bad.
I think it's. I was going to say bordering on fascism, but it is. I mean, you look at Windrush. I'm from Birmingham, right, and I've got loads of Jamaican pals, and it cuts me like a knife. It's just astonishing audacity. They haven't even got a mandate, these people. They're not even got enough votes to form a government, and they can send people who've been here 40, 50 years. I'm speechless. I'm speechless with it.
The Windrush and the Grenfell thing has shown something. It's actually shown the government for what they are.
Yes.
And it's something had to show them. And that's the two things that have, because that's another thing that we've got to do with Trump and all that, and we get all our governments. Well, I tell you what, we James said this at another show we were talking about. A couple of years ago we used to blame the woman, then after that we blamed the junkies, and then after that we blamed, and then after, I knew what we're doing is blaming foreigners.
Yeah.
Huh? No. Now, I live in Dublin and I've got a street now where we've got 3 or 4 African families, a couple of Chinese families. I trained Kung Fu with a Chinese man for 4 years, just me and him. So, great people, right? The lassies in my street, one's a Somali and there's a Nigerian lassie. I only found this out by talking to them. And the Somali lassie speaks French to me. I've done French at school. So see, for these people that have moved into my street, you want to see the street in the, you want to see the street in the summer. It's got dresses that I've never seen before, with head dresses, that one.
Yeah.
So I gave a lecture in the school last year about governing, what's good about it, and I put in 2 wee books that Brian McQuaid had written, the history of government. So I put the 2 books in, and after it's 71st-year-old kids I'm talking to, first years, and after I finished the lecture with them, I've said to them, now these 2 books are going to get donated to your library, so I'm going to put them in and you can go and read them in your own time. I've made the lecture out of this book, I've kind of edited it out. And the wee boy across the road from me, it's Somali. I love this. He was the first government boy to come up to me and say, can I read it first? A Somali boy. He just moved in maybe 3 years ago. And I thought, good government. Good government. And before the government wins is going to ask, can I read it first? Can I read it first? This wee boy stepped up, dark as job, beautiful. I want to be the first government to read it. Yes. So that's what I tend to think about, blaming the foreigners. Is it not horrible? Is it no horrible, you know? We go abroad. He's a foreigner, he's from Birmingham.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, the hatred for immigrants and such is bred by the government and bred by
Yes,
want us to escape.
Aye, that's right, it's horrible.
Until we get rid of capitalism, we're never going to escape scapegoats right now. And the working class themselves, they're being targeted. We're always going to be a scapegoat for their issues that have happened. So.
See, that's how it's a class war.
Somebody says to me recently, they said, David, you don't understand that you can't criticise Islam anymore. The government's cracking down on it, but the whole Islamophobia thing is developed quite specifically by those in power. It doesn't exist in real life. It's a faux enemy. You know, I mean, it's a bit more complicated than I'm putting it across.
But that's true. It does come a bit.
But there's no way that government wants us to suddenly, jump out of the cycle that is Islamophobia. You know, it's absolute nonsense.
That's right.
You know.
No, what is it? The big boy Neil said in government. He says they don't tell you they want you to know. They tell you, and they don't tell you it's the truth, and they don't even tell. What they tell you is what they want you to be confused about.
Yes.
That's what the government's job is. To keep us confused. You know what I mean? So they keep voting for them.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an anarchist, I'm anti. You know what I mean? Pull the whole thing down. And who's going to do it? Well, I'll be the dinner woman. I mean, let's go. Who's going to do it? I won't do it. So
April's a socialist. You're quite firmly nailed to the mast there. Anarcho-communist. I love that title. That's a brilliant. So what's the anarcho-communist sort of view on this?
View in the workers in general?
Yeah.
Well, I've not read the book, so I can't really give an analysis.
Okay, no, but just
Well, basically, the people should be free to will their own life. This is your own one life. You've got a chance. So get rid of the establishments. Any establishment that's holding your free will back, carry that out. We need to get rid of the establishment. And capitalism holds the workers back, and unless we get rid of it, we're really never going to have an opportunity to live the life we want to live and build the communities we want to build. There shouldn't be any barriers between the people. We should all be one group, working together through the own perspective of ourselves, because this is the only perspective we're going to get. And you need to take care of yourself and build this future for yourself and the futures that are going to come.
See, it's been dug in deep for a long time. Martin's worked with professional film people now, and you so I've worked with guys that are directors and editors, but they don't come from government. And I'm going to tell you something. See, after you work with them once, you'll be lucky to work with them again. Because they're scared of us. They're scared of us. And they don't think it's our right to have the knowledge that they went to college and never got. You know what I mean? And that's what I've noticed. A lot of the middle class kids are in. You're saying there, to try and get a job in the industry, the BBC or any of these places, you'd better not really come to Governor Kilmarnock. There's a good chance that you're coming to a nicer bit of air. You know, in Cartoon Cavalcade, where did that boy come to? I mean, he comes with a big property he's doing in there. Glenn
Michael's Cavalcade.
Glenn Michael's now. So that's what he was kind of, his money doing in there was because he was TV.
Was Glenn Michael for down here?
Glenn.
You need to get that put up on the wall.
No, it's for Ear Town, So I think opportunity goes to districts as well. I mean opportunity like lawyers, doctors, or the media. And these are I'm not saying that's the jobs that matter. And I'm even saying that's the jobs that pay big. But that is the jobs that command respectability. So you can't look down on them. But if you're an engineer or working in a motor and like that, they can say, oh, he's just a worker. So it's been gone a long time to label us all, and we never get labelled up there. And they always label us, you know. We hear us. I won an award for that film, right? And I refused to go into the collector. I'm not into awards. I don't do things for awards. So when they say to us, why are you not coming up for the award? That's what I said. I can't be bothered being the dog that's standing there, and the fleas that are biting my neck are away getting the awards for it, and then coming back and telling the dog it's a good dog. I know I'm a good dog, I just need warmed. Do you know what I mean? I don't need, I don't need the fleas on my back telling me you're a good dog, because they're just fleas. You know what I mean? So that's what I found out about the industry. It's full of parasites. They'll stand there and go, We're the opposite. I don't want to go there and do that. I seen it as a bit like getting into them. Join, you know what I mean? Like doing that and saying, I don't stick up their arse. I'm sorry for the French. And that's what I think what you're saying. That's what I think all working class people need to do. They need to renege on these people to the worst. I mean, tell me, stick it. Because it's them that wants it. And you're always outnumbered them. See, when you did your play or your movie, there's 10 of them and 1 of you in it. But you're the writer. No, we ain't get fed up with that much film crew in my house. One time the director says, this is really important, all of us here. My Wayne's 14 at the time. And what she says is, if I didn't write it, you would still all be in your bed. I was like, good. And you know what the director says after it? It's because she's a girl. I was like, mate, that close to getting to the window. You know,
He lives on the top floor.
You know, that's what he said, because he couldn't take it, a 28-year-old man, you know what I mean? It's probably because she's a girl. I said, probably. You nutter. You know what I mean? My Wayne says to him later, the problem with you is you actually think you're as smart as what you think you are, but you're really just daft. But you can't conceive it. I mean, as a 14-year-old. So I've got nothing, that's how maybe I don't get to work with him again. I'm like that, you know what I mean, ass with him. I've no time for it, you know. And I got that out of the book.
Excellent, okay.
Because in the book he threatens a few gaffers, didn't he?
Yes.
The gaffers are going right out of hand in the book. And the fella Owen catches one of the gaffers messing with a woman. So he says to him, if you don't stop doing this, I'm going to see you. And the gaffer does kiss him. So there's an odd wee bit in the book where the working class fight back.
Yes.
So you don't need to read it.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
You need to read it. It's a dead strong story.
Life changer. It's a life changer. No doubt about it.
There's a lovely thing in it called the money trick. Well, we showed.
I think we should move to the money trick. Let's do that. Gwen, will you be okay to bring the camera up? We'll move these out of the way.
You'll love this because this is an excerpt for the book.
This is something that a Dutch taxi driver did with us once.
Did he?
A long time ago. So for those who don't remember that, there's an updated version of it.
Wait to see this. You'll love it. So I need 3 unemployed workers. Is there anybody wanting to be an unemployed worker?
One more unemployed worker then.
And this is the money trick. This is
April, thank
how
you.
it works, right? Right, April.
Right.
And will you, anybody else want to be an unemployed worker?
Oh, come on.
Okay, right, well, that brings more people for the
Big
audience.
Neil, do you want to be an unemployed worker, Neil? Because we need somebody to get angry. Right, this is it. I'm a capitalist, and you 3 are unemployed, and I've got work for you for all day and all night. But it's my rules. These here represent the raw materials. These bits of bread, they represent coal and oil and all the fish in the sea and all the animals and everything. But it's no good to us unless we have them turned into things we can use. Now I'm a landowner and I'm your landlord and I own all the shops. If you want to know how I got like that, I'm not telling you. It's in history. Go and read your history. And that's how I got like this. So it's mine. These things represent the means of production. These are our turnless, our paint brushes. These are our fishing fleet and everything. So there's the raw materials. I'm going to employ you and you and you, and what you need to do for a week's work to earn pay is cut these raw materials into 3 cubes. And once you've cut that into 3 cubes, these are mine, but I'm letting you use them because we're in my factory now. So there we are. And if you can cut that into 3 even cubes, there'll be money taken off if you turn up here late. There'll be money taken off for messy cubes. There'll be money taken off for even looking at me the wrong way. Right, have you done your 3 cubes? You can keep that right now because you're going to be fucking employed. Let me see what we've done for a week. Oh, great. Great. 9 cubes. So, I'm going to pay you each £1 a week. There's your £1. Okay, and it's the weekend. You can do what you want. But remember, you need to eat. You need to pay your rent. And if you go to buy, if you got a car, you got the petrol in it. So I'll see you on Monday. Then he's want to eat. Then he's want to drive that car you've got. I'll go to the movies. Certainly. Cost you £1 for eating. Cost you £1 for the car. And it'll cost you £1 for the movies. And that represents £1 worth of movies, car and eating. Because that was all oil and fish and all that. But now it's good because you've worked in my factory. So I think you don't need to eat that to sustain these.
Yep.
And since I'm a fat capitalist, fuck it, I'll have 2. Alright.
Right, you need to eat that, that's
so
part of the trick. Yep. Just
I'll put it back, you can even-
pretend you're eating it.
So,
Just put it in your pocket.
So you have consumed one each. And it's Monday morning. Air a horn. Right, what? We would like 3 cubic, please. End of the week. You'll have a pound. I'll take that. Right, that has been eaten. There we go. Get to work. Well, I read. Oh, I'm full of cubes. My big belly. Oh, I'm a bit too much. Oh, I'll need to try and eat double next week. How's that going? Fantastic. The horn goes, it's Friday. I'll have all that. I put all this in my warehouse. Fantastic, these are great. My warehouse.
Right, so we can maybe count how many he's managed to accumulate so
Each
far.
of your pounds, just you need to eat again. You need to rent and you need to...
Can you count those just to see how many he's got right now? It should work.
There we go. Thank you. See you Monday.
10. Okay, so he's now got 10 of those.
Yep.
He's got 10 of those in his stash now.
And they can work.
They work. And
Plenty
they've
of work.
got,
They
you've
won't
got to eat. That's consumption.
Sure.
You don't get to
You
do any
consume
of that.
that. I'll get my £3 back.
That's been,
and so it keeps repeating.
So that's been consumed. You don't get to keep any of that. You've had to consume that. That was to keep you going.
Stay alive.
Yeah.
Right, so see the last time that we did this thing, I'm going to have many of them then.
So you're going to end up with, what, 15 next?
15 next.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I need to shut the factory, because you're overproducing. My warehouse is bursting at the fucking seams. And see if it wasn't for the Germans and the French undercutting us.
Oh, the foreigners, you mean?
Aye.
Oh, coming over here.
Just
Over
over
there.
work. And I would be able to sell this. I can't even sell that just now because of it. So they put you 3 out of work. See, I'm away opening Nottingham.
Okay. And it's
That's
just,
the money
about
clip.
it's just about this point that the working class people actually fall for that and start blaming the foreigners.
Right.
You know?
And that's the great money trick.
That's the money
Wait
trick,
a
so there
minute,
you go.
before you go, here's my machines back. We can't have you opening a shop in Birmingham. There's the great money trick.
But the connection between capitalism and racism, have not.
Yeah.
Aye. And what do you go to the end of it all?
You know?
Absolutely not.
Hee-haw!
Pound.
Hee-haw! You know you got pounds.
Nothing if you've got. I think I've got about £40 for you. Aye. And the 3.
Yeah.
And the means of production.
Mint it.
I'm going to open up somewhere else.
Okay. Cool, so we'll... that's fantastic. Well done, Dad. Well done. So we were talking about the Windrush scandal. So what's happened there? Could you maybe explain in better terms than I can what happened with Windrush scandal?
Well, Windrush was the boat that brought the original Caribbean immigrants to the UK. And I can tell you, and not a lot of people know this because I've got a degree in politics, I know these things. Enoch Powell was the health minister at the time after the war, and he was the one that went to the Caribbean to recruit nurses, doctors, whatever, for the NHS, which is incredibly poignant, I think, given these rivers of blood speech. But what they've decided, what the current government has decided, that they've been here long enough, it's time for them to go. Anybody who came, anybody who's been born to a Windrush immigrant or whatever is deemed surplus to requirements.
So, like 1950s, it was an invitation for, in this case, it was like factory workers. It was ordinary working class people from Jamaica, and they were brought over. I mean, first of all, they had to make a transatlantic sailing. They didn't come over on a flight. This was weeks on a ship. So that's quite something to go through in the first place. But they were brought over and they didn't get given any paperwork. They didn't get given passports. And so this is another factor. These people have been unable to leave, not even been able to go on holiday. They've had to be within the UK because they don't even have a passport. And the mechanism by which they've been massaging figures on immigration has been to say, can you come in and just have a word with us? Can you show us your papers? You don't have any? And that's been the way in which they've been getting people out of the country, just to satisfy bringing down certain immigration numbers you know, for political reasons. It's quite disgraceful. I mean, these people came over in good faith.
We needed them.
Yeah,
You needed
because they didn't sort them out. The UK government sorted them out. Actually, actively went over to the Caribbean and say, "Come back."
A 250,000 came over on invitation because they were needed. I mean, everywhere they went, there was a job because people were needed to work. But they weren't supported into the immigration itself wasn't managed. This was something I didn't know. The first ones that came off of the boat didn't have anywhere to stay, and they had basically shacks made up under railway arches or something like that, set up by the local communities. And they had to pay 2 shillings a night just to live in that sort of a tent before they could go and get themselves some kind of bedsit accommodation, where they were then met with racist landlords and landladies who would refuse to give them any accommodation. So then they ended up in the slumlands, landlords and landladies' pockets. Places like Notting Hill were falling apart.
I think the name of the landlord was Rackman then.
Right.
With Rackman, and that's what they call it.
That's right.
Landlords deliberately keeping the buildings bogging.
Yeah.
We have that. That's Goblin Hill right now in Glasgow.
Yes.
Goblin Hill. It's the same thing. But sorry, David, you carry on.
No, just to say that the people came over. They had a belief in England. Most of them were very well read. They'd read all the Jane Austen novels, etc. It was in the school curriculum. And when they came to, it was England mainly. They didn't really come up to Glasgow or anything. It was a world that they didn't really recognise, and everyone lived in pokey little holes, and everyone was really rude rather than polite. It wasn't polite society. And within about a decade or whatever, they were up against quite horrific violence. Excluded from society, bullied. Children that went into schools were quite often isolated because other children weren't allowed to play with them. And within maybe 10 to 15 years, that community had just decided, right, forget it. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, that's where the punky reggae party happened. That's where I came into the scene, really. Do you know what I mean? Because it was dub reggae and punk rock, and that was, that was our alliance, really.
So I think we can maybe bring in your next song. The lyric in there is one people. Was the song called Zero?
Is this Graham's song or is this my song?
It's your song.
Right, it's my song. This is called Working Class Hero.
It's Working Class Hero.
Yeah.
Working Class
Hero. Morris
Bastard. Right.
John Lennon's Working Class Hero.
Right, okay. So, Kev, you okay to play the second of Martin's songs?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay, cool.
People,
Thank you. Okay, now that song is called One People. So not Working Class Hero, which was a different song. One People. Can you just tell us a little bit about how that song came about?
The song came about, it's based on the Jamaican motto, which is out of many, one people. And it's basically this anti-racist song. And it kind of alludes to Robert Trestle in the sense that it's stop blaming everybody else, stop blaming your disabled, you know, your immigrants, your black people, your gay, whatever, you know, and just look at it. The important thing I got from Ragged Shades of Philanthropist, and I tried to feed through that film, was stop blaming the wrong people and look at who's actually to blame for the system being so broken.
Aye. Now, see that music, I'm into Noam Chomsky, and I write a lot. And it's just for writing and arguing with people. People say to me, you're dead definite with the words. And I realise now, Noam Chomsky is so thrilling for me. He's a linguist. That's what his actual field is. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying what I'm or I've not done that, but I believe that words, every one of them matters. Now, I brought up a kid myself, right? And they call me a single parent. I hate that. Because they were calling lassies single parents for Thatcher's time, and it was a derogatory term because it was meant to apply to lassies having wains, so there was all this moral crap through it. But see, latterly a men like me exist that are bringing up their own wains. It kills me. I get a woman saying to me, you're doing great there, and I say to a woman, maybe not as good as you have done forever. Women are doing great. Right, so if a woman thinks that I can, or a man thinks, you're bringing your wains up yourself. If a man thinks, a woman thinks or a man thinks I can work a washing machine and I can iron uniforms and I can do all this, it doesn't make me a better man than any woman that's been doing it a long time. And a matter of fact, I've been doing it for 18 years with this wee I've got now. It made a better man out of me. It made me understand what a feminine side can be.
Yes.
Because a man being a lassie comes in and says, Dad, do you like this tap? You can't say, I beat it, I have no time for taps. You must say to her, that's lovely, but I like the red one better. Things like that. And there's another word, so I call us modern families. Aye, single parent, I will not use it. And when people say you're a single parent, I say, no, I'm a modern family. Because doctors and that say it to you, you're a single parent, you'll be stressed. And I say, I'm not as stressed as you cavalier, you know what I mean? Sticking this crap into me and telling me. So I'm a modern family. And then the other one that came about, I broke my spine in 1989, that's how I'm 6.5 stone in front of you. I was a weightlifter in a box and I did a lot of kung fu and that. And I lost about 2 stone to keep myself, carrying myself, because I damaged my back down here. But I hate the word disabled. I'm not disabled. I mean, somebody didn't pull the fucking plug out and I went, I'm not disabled. What am I? Less able. So, it's not that I'm able, I'm less able. So I don't like modern words that governments put onto us because they've got hidden agendas all the time. And that's how I like wee Chomsky. There's no, I like Chomsky, I know. When I see I'm working with Martin Chomsky, people say no. And I say, it's quite tall. No. It's quite tall, so yes. So this is what I think about words and how they get used. And like you said, Paul, for a lot of years there, people were saying, single parent, she's a single parent. Fucking she's a hero. Do you know what I mean? Any woman that's brought her weight up. And most women, single parents, it's been some rat think guys left them like that. So I hate the words, Martin, the way the words, and then we just use them. At Sun newspaper. I've not even bought any newspaper for 30 years. But I can remember that Argentinian war, it was argy-bargy. I just saying that about a war where men are getting killed. I just saying that, and women. So I hate dictionary and what it gets thrown at us. See Windrush and all, at Grenfell Towers, we don't know nothing about these things until they come up. Martin did because he's from Birmingham. But we should have known about all that. We should have known about all that. And instead of calling it Windrush, what does Windrush mean? I thought it was a pop song or a group. You know what I mean? And then no, it's no, it's a thing of people coming here to get stoked. That's what we should be getting taught and explained to. But our schools are full of false education to keep the way seeds full of nonsense, you know.
Legalese, they're trying to make us uneducated.
To
see what's actually happening.
And that's where all these words come from, all these bamboozling words. So
Anything that does come out is going to be on their terms, because we're not going to know about it anyway, and unless we educate the working class on legalese and the words they're using to manipulate our viewpoints, we're never going to get
anywhere. That's right, I also go to themselves.
Punk rock is a DIY or die, really. I wouldn't have got that book published down south for a fact. Maybe in Liverpool, maybe at a push, but certainly in Glasgow it made it happen. You know, we got certain bits of funding, we crowdfunded certain bits of it, but when it came to doing the audio, we had no money, and it was just a Ouija spirit, and we just go, no, we're doing it. We're absolutely doing it, and we got 11 actors in, sat them round, and I had to sit back. I got all these monstrously long WAV files, 11 actors, 3 takes, every single chapter. What do I do? Do I go to the BBC and ask them to? No, because I've got to do it myself. So I learned how to edit it all together and
produce it. There's a great one there, Martin. 15 years.
Yeah,
that's one of my favourite excerpts for that. It's the gaffer. In the book, there's one of the gaffers. It's quite a clever guy. One of the guys is quite clever. So he says to himself, I'll open up a painting and decorating business. But the fella that already runs it, his name's Ruskin. In the book, all the businesses they've got some names in there. The names are like Dobbit and Cheat, and Rob 'em and Laugh.
Mike Hayes and Slug It.
And things like that. You know what I mean? Slave Them and Lovewell and things like that. And so that's the company like that. This one's called Ruskin, and he's a painter. And what he does is thins doing all the paint, and he'll no allow 3 coats, only 2. And if the men are putting too much time into the work and doing it properly, he sacks them. So you can't even get your house done properly if you wanted to, and even if the men wanted to. So in the book, there's this, in one of the chapters, it's 15 years, and it's this man called Hunter, and he wants to open up his own business, and Rustin says to him, no, what you do is you come and work with me, and I'll make you my gaffer, and you can keep your eye on the workers and all that, and we'll get rid of all the bad ones, and we'll always make money. And Hunter says, all right. 15 years later, Rustin's get the car, and he's got the new modern stuff, and Hunter is still cutting about the job, looking to see if men are talking and sacking him and doing what he's doing, and laying guys off at £7 an hour, but we can bring you back on for 6pence. And journeymen are saying £7 an hour, that's the rate. And he said, well, you can start. So they're now going back to work for 6pence an hour, but they can't tell other workers. So he's dividing the workers. Some workers are on 7pence, some are on 6pence, and some of them he's done this trick and they're on 4pence. But they can't give the job up. It's like the money trick, because they won't eat. So that's what's going on. And then Hunter himself, after 15 years, realises he's been scoobied every bit as much as the workers that he's been lashing. After 15 years, he's got nothing. And you hear him raging, don't you? 15 years.
It's brilliant. Gordy Monroe does it on the audio. It's absolutely brilliant.
I got lots of big actors here. I mean, David Mackay, Paul McCall from the Limmy show.
And Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie McCall's brother, yeah.
Stevie, oh yeah, I see.
Big
Tamdene Byrne, yeah.
Vince Doherty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if everybody knows all these names, but you know, these are, you know.
Oh, they're all from actors.
They're all pros.
Yeah.
And when they heard this was going on, Martin's approached them once, he's going to do it, and they says we will, but it was going to be for funded and done. And then the funding get pulled away when the trade unions won it. The trade unions were going to fund it until
they found out I was pro-independence.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed there, Martin playing. He's wearing a kilt. He's wearing it when he's playing there. He's got a kilt on that a jersey. There's a kilt. You've seen it in the studio. So he's an Englishman for independence with a kilt. And that's when the unions wouldn't. The unions wouldn't fund on.
Yeah, so it's been a class traitor, I think. That's what I was told, several people.
For seeing the Scottish point of view.
Yeah. You see, there's two mentalities that prevail: the colonised and the colonisers. I can tell you that my education had huge holes in it in England. I came up here and I learnt so much more. Highland clearances, so, you know, all the stuff that you guys get taught as a matter of course.
Well, we don't get taught about the Highland clearances.
We get taught the kings and queens and all.
Yeah.
We get taught the kings and queens.
You know more about Scottish history than I ever did. For sure.
There is an interest taken in especially the independence movement to redress those areas like the clearances. But you know, if we're ever told anything about the clearances, it's because people were too poor and they had to be sent away for a better life, which is
it's the same story with Windrush.
Yes.
It's a more horrific story, the Highland clearances. I mean, what actually happened there, in short, was that people were forcibly starved to death. That's what happened. Food was available from the land, but that was illegal to take.
And the Irish famine was the same.
And it was almost exactly the same.
The warehouses were full of food.
There was very few differences between the Irish and the Scottish situation when it came to the clearances. The famines were not genuine famines. You know, the food was there.
That's what I mean, the food was
there. That's exactly what it is. There was no actual famine in the sense that there was a shortage of food. People were denied access to food and forcibly starved.
See, we're coming to the same line of people for that length of time that they're still doing exactly the horrid, quite a tame word. They're monsters, and it continues. And it's only at times that May and that now we can see how horrible the story government is. Do you know what I mean? They're all like that.
I think maybe
It's ethnic cleansing.
Aye.
They just dress up with a different name, but that's exactly what it's about. The clearances. They're doing it again now, but it's not food they're withholding. It's
we'll play Graham Campbell in a second.
Their rights.
Yeah, they're doing the rights, they're doing it with the benefits. I mean, like you say, the disabled and everything like that. Only allowed to visit a food bank 3 times. You know, everything like that. Everything like that, it all mounts up, and it's just ethnic cleansing by another name.
I've went round a few of the food banks in Glasgow, but I was with Cast them out against austerity. For a while they were a group in Glasgow that were quite powerful, because we never made ourselves a charity, because you need to douse off the cap if you're a charity, and we never made ourselves a line to any unions. And the unions used to come out and see us, because we're doing a lot of good stuff at Cast them out against austerity. The unions would come out and see us and ask us if we would speak at their things. And we'd say, aye, but you don't really want us up on your stage. The PCS came to see us to support them when they were shutting down the brews in Glasgow. They were shutting down 80 of them. So they came to us and asked us if we would go in outside the brews and hand out leaflets to keep the brew open. And I said to the 3 guys for the PCS union that was there, see, before we agree into you, that's not a brew, that's a torture chamber. Aye, and keep it open. I'm thinking in torturing it while they're on their bed at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you might need to go to Kilmarnock for your benefits then. I says I wouldn't mind a look at a few coups over train before I get myself garroted. You know what I mean? There's no benefits you're getting, it's tortured. If you've ever been to Salis or Atos or any of these people. So, I says to the PCS guys, you need to ask one more question before we continue this meeting. Have any of you three ever sanctioned anybody? And all three of them had. What are they doing coming to Castle against the city to ask us to put our name behind them that the brew's got to stay open? And even if it stays open, this fucker's the guy that's going to sanction me in the morning because I was out in the street with banners on Wednesday showing up and fit to work. So they're asking me to keep the place open. They're going to call me in on Monday morning and show me photos of me standing beside them and say, we're fit for work and you're doing the same as us. So you have benefits. There you go. Job club. And when I say that to them, has any three yous ever sanctioned them? Aye, we had to. You could have chucked the job. You didn't have to. No, and it's the same old, we couldn't do that, you know what I mean? What was that, sanctioning people? And the R1, see at the end of the meeting when I says, I'm not one to get yous. Man, yous are the enemy. What are you doing here? One of them says, jokingly, this is after a half an hour or 40 minutes sitting talking me and some representatives, these three jokers. No, one of them says to us, you like this one, Robert? I don't know where he thinks his humour comes to. He says to us, see, before I was working in the brew, I was a prison warder. I says, well, you're doing smacking my mates on the head, and then when they come to you in your new job, you're sanctioning them. Fuck's sake. And he says, your mates must be crooks. I says, face Thatcher shut down all, we're all crooks. That's what Thatcher did you. Be a criminal, or be, and that's when all this crime went off my cities with Thatcher and that. I mean, places were rioting and all that. So that's what I tend to think. The people who jail you and the people who sanction you are looking down their nose at you and calling you names. My God. I mean, so that was a PCS union. So when other unions heard that we're light with them, they says, what is it he's wanting then? And I said, £500. And two unions give us it. £500. And see what that's not against austerity stuff. Nobody writes a union name on the bottom there. Don't get it. But we're giving you money, can you no write sponsored by? Take your money back. But we'll tell everybody what you done. You can keep it then. And then that was us, name our union involvement. So it's a bit like that. See when you get too strong, somebody wants to hem you in. You know what I mean? And see what you're saying. We all need to know be hemmed in. You need to be brave and no be hemmed in, which means maybe getting sanctioned. There are other people who went to jail for these things. You know what I mean? And if you ever go where you shouldn't be and they come and jail you, but we did for a wee while with 0 hours. We went with them a few times and the kids were better than 0 in Glasgow. They were walking into, we went in first into some of these shops that they're against, and I go in with a couple of old grey haired people and we pick up things, and I say daft things like we get an assistant each to keep them busy because there's no assistant's fault. And what we say to the assistant is, I'm looking to buy a frock, Ken. And she says, what? I'm looking for a frock. My lassie's 18, she wants a frock. And they say, it's not a frock she wants, it's a skirt and a blouse. I say, I don't know what you call it. And you just talk all this rubbish. And while we're doing that, each with an attendant, all that young crew came in and started throwing clays about. I think it was Topshop. They all started throwing the clays about. And then they says to me, you're in a toilet, and I've let the alarm go. Because I'm like, oh, what's going on, I'm scared here. Oh, you get you in here. And we'll fucking set the alarm off. The police and all that are there. And the police say to us, you gone? And you say, no. You sit down, no. We're no gone. And the police start getting back full of people. And they come and say, you're gone? And you say, no. Until the police are at the door. And they say, we're going to arrest you. You're going to say, aye. And you'll get home. There's no need to get arrested, and the police don't really want to do it. But the manager of the shop had to come down that afternoon. And I don't know how much it cost the shop for that one afternoon. But that manager had to show his face. And then all us get to see who he is. And there are people taking photos and all that. That's the action that's needed every day in all our streets. And you need to know buy at certain places. The new Israel, don't buy their fruit, don't buy their tomatoes, don't do it. And because that's what we did with South Africa. They buy their gear. Well, that's apartheid in Israel right now. You know what's happening in Gaza and that. So don't buy their gear. And that's what I mean. If we're absent-minded and we say, I can just take an orange and look at it and see what it came from. And see wherever it came from. Don't do it. there are other oil suppliers, Spanish, other people do it.
Yeah.
So that is what I think your way of doing what you're saying. You can only ever take your action, and like the money trick, vote with your feet. Money's what matters, so don't give them it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that an anarchist or a good socialist or communist should be doing.
And keep Scotland the brand.
Aye.
You know, if it's got a jack, put it back. Don't eat it.
Aye.
I tell you what, there's a wee comment from Graham Campbell. Aye. Graham Campbell's an SNP councillor for Springburn. It was just a comment on the Windrush scandal. We kind of went a wee bit off topic there, Rob. Didn't want to go on, but
sorry, I did.
it's fine.
Aye. So it's a big night. It's an
We'll just bring Graham in for his wee comment on Windrush and see what he's got to say.
Aye.
And if anybody's got any comment on that, bring it in. Okay.
Aye.
Undoubtedly, there's been a push back against the hardcore racism of the toxic environment. You know, the Scottish position on this, which is to try and open borders up and welcome more people to come, is getting more mainstream currency across England because people have now worked out, many of them for the first time, what the Home Office has been doing to our citizens all this time. I mean, I've been aware for 3 years that plane loads of Jamaicans have been being gathered for deportation, and we found that getting on for half of the people summoned into these planes are not eligible for deportation because they're British. Well, that's been going on for a while. You know, so I know that the 60 that they found who've been deported who had the right to be British, that's the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be more. And the question is who was responsible for that? Well, Theresa May was responsible for that. So it's not like they weren't told. You know, line by line, the immigration bill in 2015 was disputed by SNP and Labour MPs joining forces, trying to cut the nasty racism from that bill line by line, and every amendment they proposed was rejected by the Conservatives in the Parliament. So they knew this would happen. They were told, and they chose to make it so that it included our people. And so this is just reaping the win. I'm very glad that they've been pushed back a bit, but it still doesn't solve the problem because it's no good if they stop being racist to us, but they're still racist to everybody else they would like to kick out. You know, that's still where we're at. We still have the toxic environment, and we will do as long as we stay in the British state. This is what the British state's about. Every government of every hue in London has legislated to, you know, racist immigration controls. It's been going on for 50 years. You know, Enoch Powell would not have been possible without Labour and Tory governments introducing this stuff, and that will keep happening as long as we're part of this empire which still thinks it's an empire. We need to kill the beast.
Yep, kill the beast, as Graham Campbell puts it. Yeah, I mean, it's their own language, the toxic environment. That's something that the Tories specifically have created. It's something that they call the toxic environment, an environment that is toxic to, foreigners. I mean, we're all foreigners in one way or another, but people who, you know, have immigrated, and it also includes people who are children of those who immigrated in the 50s. So people who were born
British
and have grown up and spent their whole life, have been part of the structure of the UK, have been having an environment created for them, which they, in their own words, call the toxic environment. And I was actually quite glad to hear that Graham says that it's people in England are now actually, they can see the way that the Scottish outlook is quite opposite to that. We have a more inclusive philosophy.
I think the referendum, the independence referendum, provided a springboard for Corbyn to do what he's doing. Whether he'll actually be allowed to take power is another thing, but he's certainly more progressive than Theresa May, that's for sure.
And what you're saying about toxicity, that's what I'm saying. This May government, anybody can see how evil it is. Used to be governments quite good at hiding it.
Well,
But this one here, anybody, even if we go into politics,
Yeah.
I think that woman is alien with a suit on. That's what I think she is. I think she's the alien with a suit on. I mean, the woman's face and clay's kind of mouldy, don't you? I actually think she's like, she walks like the alien.
Just in terms of like you're running a yes shop, and you've described it, Gwen, as a sort of yes information centre, so people can come in and become informed. I mean, what's their impression of the nature of the Westminster government, or the English administration? Is that what's it you're calling it now?
Well, basically we've been discussing it, and I didn't put it around, and some people have been to some talks. We had a presentation here about reframing completely the whole vocabulary, like you were talking about it there as well. And instead of, I think we should start focusing on what's happening in Westminster. In fact, we don't call it that anymore. Look, they're called, as far as I'm concerned, they're the UK administration, right? And if you ask yourself a simple question, why do the English not have their own parliament? Why is it this that thinks it can rule for us as well and make all these rules that we don't agree with? People don't want to have the situation of austerity being brought in. We don't want nuclear weapons. We don't want the money we'd spent on all these things, right? So let's stop focusing on it, right? Let's call it the UK administration, which is what it is. And let's think, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm focusing on what's happening in our Scottish Parliament, right? After new policies come in the last few days, there's loads of stuff going on. So we've got the makings there of a really progressive country. And I think the more attention they get, the better. Don't watch the BBC, don't read their rubbish newspapers. Let's change everything. And I think it's quite simple. It doesn't matter what you know. I mean, obviously you have to do a bit of investigation. You have to get with it. If you're interested in, say, the anti-nuclear movement, you have to work out what's actually going on behind the scenes. But generally speaking, I think we should just focus and change the way the words that we use, very much so. So if you get an opportunity to see, it's a guy called Bill Dale from June has been doing it, so I'd suggest that go to one of his discussions if you can.
Well, I think we're going to make sure that we cover the fringe event at the SNP conference.
Yep. It's going to be doing one there.
Yeah, so we've got a team up there from Aberdeen. But just in terms of like the people that you speak to, like they come into the shop, I mean, what are their concerns? I mean, are they aware of the kind of the level of toxicity with Westminster? I mean, are they thinking more locally, or what's going on? What are people's concerns when they come in and talk to you?
We've had a lot of queries about Brexit. We've had an awful lot of that. We actually had one mother and daughter come in to ask about the situation, because one of them was hoping, the daughter was hoping to bring her boyfriend over from France. Okay. And they wanted to know when the window closed, how long they had before they needed to consider, getting them over here, while he was still a European citizen. At that time nobody knew. Obviously we still don't really know when these things are going to happen. So there's a lot of people that are very worried about the uncertainty of that. And this woman had been to the MP's office, she'd been to the MSP's office, she'd been everywhere she could think of, and we were one of her last hopes, I guess, and we were able to kind of say, well, we don't really know, but please just keep an eye, because what else can you say? You don't know. I mean, nobody knows what's going on. I don't even think Theresa May knows what's going on in her own house and in her own heat half the time, never mind anything else. So how the rest of us are meant to guess is beyond me. But we were able to, give her some reassurance that, she would probably have, they'd probably have a certain amount of time where they would have some sort of warning that would be put out to everyone to, you kind of hope they would. But I mean, that's all the hope we could offer, was that keep an eye on the news. That's all you can really do. We don't know, but obviously if Scotland becomes free, then that's a very good portal to us being able to help people like that a lot more and say you're welcome in Scotland. And so they left a lot more positive, after we'd spoken to them, and they actually left more likely to vote yes than when they'd walked in the door, which was great as well. It helped with that. So there's been that. We've had queries about just generally when the next referendum's going to be, things like that. We get people coming in to buy stuff. We've got lots of bits and bobs, which help fund the shop as well. So if you're looking for something yes related, get yourself down here. Shameless plug.
You've got windmills, you've got the windmill socks that you can get for your car, which are quite handy.
Yes, we've got loads of bits and bobs, flags, the lot. But so we get a lot of people just in generally what's going on.
But I mean, asking about can I have my French boyfriend over, it's a horribly isolationist position to, you know, I mean, where
Chinese French?
Where are we in the world if you can't have your French boyfriend over? I mean, that's quite serious.
Is there no romance with?
Yeah.
Having a French boyfriend.
But I mean, this what I'm maybe trying to get at here is that this is a slightly different take on things than the problems we were addressing with Westminster in 2014. Now it's this horrible isolationist future that they're trying to sell us, where you can't have a French boyfriend. You know, what else can you do? You know,
you can't even have a Jamaican pal now.
You can't have a Jamaican pal, you know. So,
you can't eat French toast.
French toast and eggy bread. There you go, your French toast has got to be called eggy bread.
When I really like that. Now, see when I'm bringing my kids up, I don't really worry about the shop at the corner or that round the corner. I concentrate on bringing my kids up. I want independence. But this is one thing I'm dead rested with. Independence was a kind of far away thing at one time. Independence is in every one of your aprons now. It's going to happen. I don't worry as much as I did about independence, because it is going to happen.
Can I come in just briefly what you just said, right? Because that's another thing that I would like us to reframe, right? See the word independence, right? That assumes to me that we're dependent.
I know.
So questionably, we already are a country in our own right. We already are an independent country. What we have is a whole load of policies which we don't have a right to make decisions on, right? Well, we can make many decisions on them, but we can't necessarily implement them. And obviously defence. There's actually more of them than there is of the ones we're allowed to actually make. Allowed to, if you know the words, right? So I'd like us not to use it, but I haven't thought of another alternative. So answers on a postcard. But I'd really like to know, because I don't like calling it that, because I feel as if it makes us look as if we're kind of dependent.
Sometimes the use of our words after a period of time, it doesn't carry the same impact, and you have to just try and use a different word. You're talking about dissolving the union as just another way of talking about becoming independent.
The union,
and all this, it's the same thing, but it's just the fact you're using fresh words means that people, the way that they actually process the concepts that you're discussing, works in a new way.
I think it's unstoppable now.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable. It's not that this thing can't be seen through to the end, because it's our end. It's an end that we now have fostered. It's our end. I'm not happy with any other ending to this story. And I think there's millions of people in Scotland feel the same way. Well, that kind of power over time, it's got to wear in. So I can see us as a fully autonomous country to our aim. Before my life suit, I didn't see that before. But our kids will be Scots.
And if you want to have a French boyfriend, bring him up here. And
see him get me a French girlfriend.
I've no objection whatsoever to any of these these Windrush people. I mean, if they just simply came and based themselves in Scotland, they'd be absolutely fine. You know? I think a nice comfortable retirement. You're very, very welcome. Now, Martin's written a brilliant poem, and the poem's called "Leave to Remain," and it's about the Windrush. It's inspired by this scandal, but originally you were thinking.
Well, originally,
can you just tell us about?
Originally, I wrote a song for myself, and I wrote it the day after Brexit, and I put myself in the place of somebody who might be, say, a Syrian doctor. All of a sudden, what happens next? So I wrote that, and I was rehearsing it up to play it live, and I just looked at the lyric sheet, and it was a couple of days after the Windrush thing, and I've looked at it, and I thought that'd be absolutely brilliant in Jamaican patois, so I rewrote it in Jamaican patois, and I know these things because I remember I've got a good ear for dialect, so I wrote it. I sent it to Graham, and he was totally bowled over by it, and he said, I wish I'd written it himself. Will you perform it? Yeah, too right. So, as you know, he's a councillor, so being the cheeky bandit that I am, I said, can we film it in City Chambers? He's got an eye. So that's what we did. So. Yeah. Punk rock revolution in City.
Okay, Kevin, you okay to play Leave to Remain?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll play this, and if you want to comment on it, that's great, and then we'll maybe just draw to a close, unless anybody's got anything they really want to chip in.
Me have to leave to remain in this Inglaterra me reach way back in the day. But me can't sleep, me can't speak, me can't weep. We in deep. Me can't breathe for deceit, distrust and disdain. Now that the beast be unleashed, that beast be unleashed for its cage. It in them paper, it in them book, it in them faces, word and dirty look. It in them swag, St. George's tots. Them not interested in Union Jack. They not black on that rascal flag. It in them school, the wisdom of fools, pan the television evening news. It in them soul, since days of old, when them vanquish we ancestor. Slaves caught and sold, them whitewash history and plunder all we gold. England dream, or so it seem, were lost upon the high-rise low-life schemes for survival. This your rival, make alloy upon them hubcap gleam, brighter than him halogen headlight beam. Me have to leave to remain. This Inglaterra me reach way back in a day. Me have to leave to remain. But all this hate want to drive we insane. So let I breathe and give I leave to remain. Screw the workers, ruled by shirkers, proud of all the brain donors they have nurtured. North and south, them shoot them off, take every single immigrant and boot them out. Cause we're English and proud, innit? It in them pigment of them melanin, sig I'll salute and song them sing. It in them hedgerow and avenue, forgotten masses, chosen few, while the mama nature chokes on the bile them spew. Jah hate the queen and all that she means, cause England's dream of pastures green were lost upon the high-rise low-life schemes, and them silence of her victim screams. Me have to leave to remain. This Inglaterra me reach way back in the day. Me have to leave to remain. But all this hate will see the end of days. Unless do let I breathe and give I leave to remain.
Hands up if you've got a cooler SNP councillor than Graham Campbell. What do you think of that one?
Brilliant, powerful.
Excellent. I mean, I think what we'll need to do is put that out there with English subtitles. I can. No, but patois is not English. That's been made very explicitly clear in my basic research that I've done. Patois is not English. I can understand most of what's going on in that poem, but I really don't get it all. It's a bit like maybe somebody from England listening to Scots.
Aye.
If you haven't, you've been
yeah,
people speaking that way.
To it,
yeah. I mean, I was actually on the internet trying to find personal pronouns and things like that to actually like. So I think if we put that with maybe English subtitles, it just makes it more accessible. Yeah. But it's brilliant. So this is a white English guy that's written this, and it's been recited by a genuine Jamaican man.
I know,
but no, Graham's recital skills are absolutely second to none. They're fantastic. Brilliant. I've done it in 6 chambers as well.
Yeah, that was quite a coup. That was.
Aye, that is great. That background just cracking.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Aye.
So, and it's a little bit subtle there, but when the line "Jah hate the Queen" and all this.
I heard that. Aye.
I've got a piece of Pathé footage from 1953 when the Queen visited Jamaica, which was then superimposed with the Grenfell fire
Oh.
So just a little subtle thing you might notice the next time you watch it. Controversial stuff. Right, so is there anything else anybody would like to contribute before we wind up? Have you enjoyed yourselves tonight?
Yes, sir. That's a good show.
Are you glad we did this? Yes. Shall we do it again at some point?
Yes. I might not talk as much next time.
Cool.
So just to let everybody know, the normal studio premises which we would normally use are no longer available to us. So Gwen here from Yes East Ayrshire made a very kind offer and hosted us for the show in the premises of Yes East Ayrshire.
Fantastic.
But you know, any other Yes group, if you want to say, okay, let's have the big night in over, then please get in touch, because we're very open to offers. So yeah, just get in touch with us. It's liveindependence@gmail.com. Yep, which is the normal Independence Live email. You can get us through independencelive.net contact us button. And just let us know, and we'll come and we'll set up the studio, and we'll play to your studio audience. So I think what we'll do is, if we're okay to wrap up, I'm going to thank Kevin, who's been working tirelessly on the studio production.
Nice to be in the same room.
Rob Fullerton, who's been the co-host extraordinaire.
Hey. I'll talk for the tappy anybody.
Our esteemed guest, Martin Chomsky.
Thank you.
Yes, Brian.
And the studio audience of Yes East Ayrshire, thanks very much for coming on and for your contribution. I've been Dave McGowan. This is IndependenceLive.net, the big night in, and we'll see you next month. Good night. Woo! Woo!
Thank you.
Watch the big night in Independence Live. Big night in Independence Live.
.net